Ubisoft is rolling out the same talking points we saw with Star Wars Outlaws, and it's likely going to end up as the same result. Soft sales and below expectations. Nevertheless, that is what Ubisoft is doing for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Not only that, but they are flubbing their own marketing for this game, revealing some DLC details in a now deleted update on the game's Steam page. Wrote this up over at phantompulse.com. You can find the link in the description below. I encourage you to head on over, become a paid subscriber. Costs less than a Starbucks coffee, just $5 a month, and you get all kinds of different articles over at Phantom Pulse. We are fully reader funded, so your support allows us to do this. So let's talk about this DLC first, and then we'll get into what Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot had to say. This was captured by Tech for Gamers, a screenshot of the game's Steam page, and it revealed details about the DLC, which is titled Claws of Awaji, and it will release sometime later in 2025. Who knows? Who knows if the game even releases in March 20? They've already delayed it once, or they've delayed it twice now. So who knows if it even comes out on March 20th. But anyways, this is what it says. Feel the fear of being hunted and under threat on a mysterious island. Reclaim a lost treasure while avoiding the traps and ambushes of deadly new foes. Master the bow, a new weapon type. Unlock new skills, gears, abilities, and get over 10 hours of additional content. I guess that comes with pre-ordering the game, which you still cannot do yet. Unable to pre-order the game, which is Interesting. We'll see that is not the case with its competitors. So this now deleted update on the game's Steam page came after Ubisoft announced it was delaying the game for a second time. They announced this in a press release. It says, additionally, as part of the renewed focus on gameplay quality and engaging day one experiences, it has been decided to provide an additional month of development to Assassin's Creed Shadows. This additional time will allow the team to better incorporate the player feedback gathered over the past 3 months and help create the best conditions for launch by continuing to engage closely with the increasingly positive Assassin's Creed community. The game is now scheduled for March 20th. They like to use this word positive a lot, as you will see here in a little bit. CEO Yves Guillemot added this: we are all behind our team's efforts to create the most ambitious Assassin's Creed opus of the franchise and made the decision to provide an extra month of development to Shadows in order to better incorporate the player feedback gathered over the past 3 months. That will enable us to fully deliver on the potential of the game and finish the year on a strong note. I think this is all disastrous. They already said that they spent an extra 20 million euros by delaying it to February. I can only imagine that they will be spending even more money to delay this game to March, and it's unlikely that they are going to sell any more copies to kind of cover those extra costs that they are piling up. I still believe it would have been best for them to just take the hit, release it in November, get the Christmas sales, and just eat it. But that's not the case. I think basically what they're doing now is they're losing more and more sales. I don't think they're going to get any more sales from this. I think people have already made up their mind about this game. But we got some more information from Guillemot in a conference call that took place following this press release. And Guillemot was asked to provide specifics on the player feedback that he says he's receiving from the Assassin's Creed community. Of course, he doesn't provide any specifics whatsoever. This guy never provides any details whatsoever, and I think is one of the reasons why the company is doing so bad, because this guy clearly is a bad leader. Obviously, that's the case, given the fact that he has embraced DEI, and it is ruining his company. Still has not made any moves to get rid of it, despite numerous Western companies finally seeing the light and getting rid of their DEI departments. Facebook being the most recent one, or I guess it's called Meta now. But anyways, this is what Guillemot said. On Assassin's Creed, we took the benefit of these additional months to gather more player feedback while engaging even more with our community. We've seen an increasingly positive reaction from the overall community, so we want to pursue that momentum, and to incorporate the latest feedback will allow us to deliver on our commitment to provide with a great experience by the time we launch. He continues saying, so we will continue to fine-tune the gameplay mechanics and progression balancing, and we will provide, as we said, as he mentioned, we will provide players with hands-on sessions starting next week. So that'll be interesting to see if we find any info about those hand-on sessions or any information coming out of those hands-on sessions. But again, you can see here, sticking to kind of the PR talking points, saying that they're receiving a lot of positive, increasingly positive reaction from gamers regarding this game. I think this is absolutely not true. Again, this is something that he did back in July 2024 while trying to promote Star Wars Outlaws. This is what he said. What we have factored in is a strong launch for Star Wars Outlaws that reflects the fact that it is among the most awaited games of the industry this year and a really strong positive community sentiment. And also the fact that we are coming with the biggest marketing campaign ever so far for an Ubisoft game. So that's what we've been factoring in the second quarter. Well, how did that turn out? It turned out in the company's first half 2024-25 earnings figures report that Star Wars Outlaws underperformed sales expectations. We don't have any specific data. We do have a rumor that they sold about 1 million copies in the first month, and everything we've seen since then, it looks like sales have completely and utterly stagnated, has not done well at all. And again, this was the talking point they used for Star Wars Outlaws. Really strong positive community sentiment. Sounds very similar to increasingly positive reaction from the overall community. I mean, they literally just reworded it and think that this is going to fool people. I mean, who are you fooling? Your game is going to be a disaster, and you're just trying to put the makeup on the pig, right? As the saying goes. So we have some, I think, some data that shows that this game is going to be a disaster. You can just look at how the game is performing on Steam. Only 10,400 followers, number 110 in wish lists. This is pacing about what we saw with Dragon Age the Veilguard. Now, obviously, things have changed because they delayed the game twice, etc. So it's not as a apples-to-apples comparison as I would have liked to have seen it, given the fact that they've delayed it. But it is around what Dragon Age the Veilguard was doing leading up to its release in the same time frame, how many players or followers that it had. And we know that game did not do well either when it comes to sales. Even the Access Media is admitting that it didn't do well. Christopher Dring, former games industry head, noting that it had zero competition in the Christmas season and it still couldn't find an audience. That's how poorly that game did. And again, that looks very similar to Assassin's Creed Shadows. I actually think Veilguard was higher up on that wish list number than Assassin's Creed Shadows. We can also compare it to games that are coming out or were coming out around the same time that it was supposed to come out in February. Monster Hunter Wilds, 300,778 followers, number 1 on wish lists, number 10 in top sellers. The game does not release until February 28th. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, 117,065 followers. It's number 16 in wish lists and number 29 in top sellers. It releases on February 4th. Sid Meier's Civilization 7, it releases on February 11th, has 154,392 followers. It is number 4 on wish lists and number 12 already in top sellers. And then if you want to go to March, we can look at the first Berserker Kazan, 20,119 followers, so double Shadows. It's 79th on wish list, so it's higher. It's almost 40 positions higher, or 30 positions, because what Shadows, I said it was 110, so it's around 80, so 31 positions higher. And then it also is obviously already able to pre-order 1,139th in top sellers. It releases March 27th, so a week after Assassin's Creed Shadows. And then you can look at like Bleach Rebirth of Souls. It releases on March 20th, the same date as Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it appears to be trending better than it as well. It has 20,466 followers, so double Assassin's Creed Shadows, 107th in wish lists, and 550th in top sellers. So even Bleach beating that. But clearly, Assassin's Creed Shadows wanted to get away from Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, wanted to get away from Monster Hunter Wilds, wanted to get away from Sid Meier's Civilization 7, but I don't think that they moved far enough away to get away from it. Again, Monster Hunter Wilds is February 28th. They didn't even move a month away from that. I think people are still going to be purchasing that game, checking that out, and will likely have made their purchase on what they want to purchase over top of Assassin's Creed Shadows, given the fact that there is, I feel like, a crunch on not only your time, what you can spend on, but also people's wallets, right? People's wallets are also, I think, thinned, and so they're only going to be maybe purchasing a certain number of games this year than a lot of options. And games like Assassin's Creed Shadows are not going to be picked over games like Monster Hunter Wilds, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and even Sid Meier's Civilization 7, even though they're all, I would argue that these are all different genres for the most part. Obviously, maybe Monster Hunter Wilds is the closest to Assassin's Creed Shadows, given the fact that they're both kind of action games. So not looking good at all. I'm not seeing anything positive coming out of Assassin's Creed Shadows. None of it looks really good to me. The fact that he's saying this and the fact that he said this about Star Wars Outlaws, I think shows that he knows that it's a giant lie. There is no increasingly positive reaction for this game, and it is going to be a loser. And he has only to blame himself for greenlighting this game, approving it, and even having this decision to make Yasuke one of the main protagonists. An absolutely terrible, terrible failure because the studio embraced the DEI agenda and they are going to pay for it. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth.